All right, this part two. All right, this part two for the Most High Yahweh intentions, for life on this earth. All right, and my phone had like it automatic stopped the video, and it was saying that I had to free up some more space. All right, which I did, so we shouldn't have no more issue. All right, so I'm gonna start back. Let's start back at 18. All right, so this Romans 9 and 18. Therefore have he mercy on whom he will have mercy, and whom he hardeneth. That's right. And the only one's going to get mercy is the elect, the saints, the elect chosen, men, women, and children that was predestined for salvation, who are Israelites by nationality and by lineage, by birth. Okay? All right. Which, of course, you know, we uh, we understand that your nationality, according to the Bible, is traced by way of the Father. Okay, and of course, we can't prove that by way of DNA tests. All right, that's why in these last days we go according to the Holy Spirit. We go according to the Spirit. Okay, because only Israelites will believe in the gospel of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah and believe and be saved. The Holy Spirit is only for Israelites. Okay, to what? To bring them back to remembrance. All right, to give them all they need for salvation, which is 100% truth. All right. So it says, and whom he will, he hardeneth. Right. So, and the Lord is doing that with 2/3. Okay. The Lord is rejecting Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah is rejecting 2/3 of his people. Okay. That's why they coming up against the truth. Okay. They going in overdrive coming against the truth. All right. Verse 19, thou wilt say then unto me, why doth he yet find fault? So the Apostle Paul, he dealt with the same questions we deal with in these last days. He dealt with the same questions, the same unbelief, the same doubting, the same trickery type questions to try to, confound us prophets. That's it. To try. All right. So it says, thou wilt say then unto me, why doth he yet find fault? For who hath resisted his will? All right, because this all which is coming to pass is the will of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah. You know, World War III, the Battle of Armageddon. That's the will of the Lord. It's going to happen. The Lord is going to make sure it happens. Okay, everything that happened on this earth, good and bad, it was the will of the Lord. Okay, so it's nothing you can do. All right. So it says, verse 20, nay, but O man, who art thou that replies against Yahweh? Shall the thing formed say to him that formed it, why hast thou made me thus? Have not the potter power over the clay of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor, the Israelites, and another unto dishonor, the Edomites? Okay, don't forget Romans 9 and 13. That's what they're talking about. Okay, so it says, so the vessels of dishonor are the Edomites. Okay, they're going to be destroyed by the Lord. In Obadiah, the book of Obadiah tells you that. And the Edomites, the so-called white people, they're still here today. All right, and Esau has spread his seed as well, like all nations have. Okay, so it's not even about skin color. All right, because now we don't get it twisted. We know original skin color of the Edomites, they're red. We know that. You know, uh, their blood showed through their skin, especially when emotions flare. Okay, but in these last days, Esau has also spread his seed too, his sperm amongst the nations. All right, so and also amongst the Israelites. All right, you know, because during chattel slavery, all right, um, Esau, the plantation owners, all right, was the oppressor, was raping you so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native American women, was raping you and getting you pregnant. All right, and leading all the way up to this day. In these last days, you'll have Edomites, they get Israelite wives, get Israelite women. All right, so they're still spreading their seed. You know, it is what it is. All right, so now you have tares. That's what the Bible calls tares. All right, because on the outside, that child, boy or girl, may look like an Israelite. May appear to look like a so-called black, Hispanic, or Native American, boy or girl, but the whole time their father, their lineage, their seed goes back to Esau. That's what the scriptures call a tear. Okay, so it says, all right, let me start back. I mean 22, Slakia. All right, it says, what if Yahweh willing to shew his wrath and to make his power known, endure with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction, right? And and the Lord made sure Esau was going to be guilty. It's all predestined, all right? That's why Esau, he raped, robbed, and murdered the Israelites. Esau, the so-called white man, raped, robbed, and murdered, you know, the other nations of this earth, including the Israelites first and foremost. And they're still doing it. They're still Esau, the so-called white man, is still, being racist, all right, being covetous, being power hungry, deceiving the world instead of killing. Esau, the so-called white man's God, is gold, oil, and drugs. Okay, that's why they're gonna continue to fuck over you people. All right, and fulfill their new world order, or try to. But it's prophesied the Lord is gonna stop them. You know, at the appointed time. You know, Yahweh Shem Yahushua is gonna stop them. All right. That's why we've been saying, beginning with the elder apostles, great millstone, after the mark of the beast is made mandatory, that during the hour of temptation, all right, the RFID chip and that Neuralink, after it's made mandatory, prophecy is going to truly start moving way faster than this. Everything going to be moving super fast. All right, it's not going to take long at all. So we already know JT, the Great Tribulation, Jacob's Trouble, is not going to be too long. Okay? And the scriptures tell us it is our Father's good pleasure to give us the kingdom. So Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah, they, all right, because two separate individuals, the Most High Yahweh created or invented Yahweh Shah. Okay? The and another title for Yahweh Shah is the only begotten, all right, the Son of Yahweh, the Son of God. All right, he's the first. All right, first angel created, first spirit created. All right. So Let me see. Starting back at 23, it says, and that he might make known the riches of his glory on the vessels of mercy, who are the saints, the Israelites, which he had afore prepared unto glory. Hold on.